Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. We are here from our headquarters in Portugal. My name is Sara. I am the communication manager of MTEX NES, and I will guide you during the next hour with my colleague Marco Souza and with our guest Thomas Potes. Welcome, Thomas. For those who were with us yesterday, our sincerely apologies for the technical issues about the audio. And today we are not in live stream mode, but we are available to answer your questions. So let us know which one are yours, and our specialists will answer all of that questions. So we are talking today about pigments and about our falcon, and we have for that Marco Souza, that is our product manager, and we have Thomas Potes, that is our specialist representing UVM Germany from the DACH area. He is a person that works in the textile area during more or less 25 years. So I will pass the word to Marco Souza, and I will address him a question that is why we choose this title for this webinar, and what is the relation with this title with our Falcon machine.
So before answering that question, I would thank you, Thomas, for your presence. It's a pleasure to us to have you here.
Thank you, Marco.
So as you well said, Sarah, we choose as a title, as a theme, survival deviation. So it's very simple, the reply, and it's nothing complicated. So during this time, we just looked on the market what was missing and not what was already there. Getting this information, getting this feedback, we work on that, and the result of that and the engineered result of that was this completely new and re-engineered Falcon.
Marco, what do you really mean with that, re-engineered Falcon?
So we took this time, let's say that we leave a different time. So we took this lockdown time to real think in how we can make better things that were missing in our market. So the Falcon is a completely new re-engineer, because apart from the looking of the machine, we have a new transport system, a new tension system, and we have an on-patent system to grab the fabric during printing to help us to get as much stable as possible, getting the best quality with the best output and the best speed. So getting all these feedbacks, it's what we can say that the end of this 4 months, it's this new Falcon that we have to show you.
Wow, this sounds really great. But can you tell me in detail what the advantages are?
So we took this very serious, and we look as we already spoke about it. We took as key points the technology, yes, but always taking in consideration the sustainability and the flexibility of this machine. We have to remember that it's a pigment machine, so we need this flexibility, always thinking and how sustainable we can go, and until where we can go with this machine. Technically wise, as you know, MTEX, we re-engineer all these points that we just spoke, and that we will go on detail later on our technical explanation. I would also address you one thing, since you have 25 years in this market or more. this, it's one thing that you also have in all your webinar or all your presentations around the world. We definitely would need your opinion about the sustainable, until where we can go, what should we do, and until where we need to be, where we need to be with this.
This is a very, very complex topic, sustainability. So let me try to make a few things clear. The UN defined sustainability by 17 charts, 17 target goals. And when we look at those 17 target goals from the digital printing industry on textiles, at least we can influence 6 of those 17 goals, at least 6. So that shows me that we have the possibility of supporting sustainability goal on a very strong impact. Looking at the traditional textile printing industry, they produce a lot of wastewater, they need a lot of energy, they produce a lot of products just for the waste. They produce in certain regions around the world, but not locally where the demand is. So having all this in consideration, digital printing has some really good impacts, or can have some really good impacts to reach those goals of sustainability.
In your opinion, what is the main UN targets that we are able to reach with, let's say, with this digital world, with all these tools that are now in the market?
Well, the main thing is they call it clean water. And the textile industry is probably, I don't know, maybe the second biggest wastewater producer around the world. So we have some serious issues here to overcome the situation what we have today in the textile industry. And digital technology is providing solutions for that. And when I'm comparing the analog printing technology with digital technology, already reactive printing inks in the digital printer and acid printing inks in a digital printer produce less wastewater, by far less wastewater than in the analog printing, but still they produce wastewater because you have to steam, you have to wash, and you have to dry the textile again. So the best really on that is to have pigment inks, water-based pigment inks in a digital printing solution. In the analog printing is already very good, but digital is even better because you have less energy and you can produce locally. You would not need to transport the products, up and down around the world. You produce locally, and this is some really good advantages and strong arguments for using pigment inks on digital printers in the future.
Never forget that this flexibility also brings you different markets.
No, absolutely right. Using a pigment ink, and that's why in the analog printing process, they already have experienced that. More than 50% of all the textile printing business worldwide each year, at least 30 billion, experts bring this number always up, 30 billion square meter is printed each year on textiles. At least 50%, some people say it's up to 60%, is used with pigment printing on the analog side. So that shows clearly that we have a huge potential with digital printing on pigment inks.
So we get a bigger market, definitely. We can reach more applications. Definitely there are applications that we will have to keep on traditional, applications that we will keep doing in the normal and analog process. We will keep for example, the machines that we have in the market for the fashion business is something that is established to be done like that, because we're talking about elastic fibers. But when you go to this in the pigment, mainly in the pigment market, that you're talking in decoration market, home textile market, exterior applications with high UV resistance. Do you believe that all this digital and this sustainability will have even more growing during the next years with the new technology that is coming with the Falcon, for example?
Yes, definitely. In general, we are in that change from analog to digital, not only in the textile industry. This is, you know, we experienced it for all our life, that we are in this process of change from analog to digital. And nobody can stop that, nobody. So we are in that change. There is more that question, and this is, can I be part of that change? Or will I be at the end out of that? So if I like to join, then here in our case, digital printing on textiles, this is the future, definitely. There is no doubt about this. And printing with pigment inks, this gives you the versatility of printing on textiles, because with pigment inks, you can print on any textile. You know, you print on the blends, like cotton polyester, like rayon and polyester, or rayon cotton, and so on and so on. You cannot do this with any other ink. You know, sublimation inks are only dedicated to print on polyester, 100% polyester. This is nice, but it's only polyester. If I look to the market of home textiles, there is a huge number of natural fibers like cotton, like linen, like rayon are used, and you cannot print them with sublimation inks. And if you look for, you could print them with reactive, of course, and the natural fibers or the acids you can use for silk and so. But with pigment, this machine can print any of those. So having a printer like this installed gives you huge flexibility on what you like to service.
This brings probably one of the key questions of this market, and every time that you talk about pigment, we have this question. Do we need a pre-treated fabric?
Well, that is it's almost a theological question. Do I believe in that or not? I would say I believe in it, because why? Because there are huge advantages of pre-treatments, even though you don't have to have it, but let's look at the advantages first. And then we can look at the so-called maybe other opportunities. The advantage of having a pre-treated fabric for pigment inks, you know, we know that we have to wash off the spinning oils and bleach the textile. If I like to get the same quality on my white, then I have to bleach the textile, and I have to have a repeatable quality. For example, this is important if I have industry customers. They like to have a repeatable quality all the time. Then I know that I can guarantee that with a pre-treated textile in the set, because I have my same white and I have the same base media. So I can really guarantee that I have the same colors over and over again. And this, I think it's really a very important issue for you know, an ongoing business. If I have businesses where I make just one shot and I know this demand will not come again, of course I can print on uncoated textiles. This is not the point. But you never know what kind of quality you get. You have to, you know, set up your system. You will need definitely more ink, because the pre-treatment keeps the ink up on the surface.
It's a saving point. So if you have a fabric that it's not treated and you have to compensate ink, it's much better to having a pre-treatment and saving on the cost of ink.
Yeah, definitely. You will save a lot more if you use pre-treated textiles than you would print on uncoated textiles, because the ink is more expensive than the pre-treatment process. And think about the advantages you have. So, but it's still, it's up to the business model each customer has at the end.
You spoke about the color variation that is very important on the pretreatment because this will give you stability, consistency on the color. That is something that the pigment was always one of the key questions because you lose color is not as solid as other process, is not so vibrant. The treatment and the pre-treatment can bring this up, can make us a better result, not only on quality, on sharpness, you don't have ink migration. So all this is advantage that we should look from the right way, like we said, looking on the deviation, looking for what is right, instead of looking to what was obvious that, oh no, I don't want to pre-treat because it will be more difficult. No, it's better to pre-treat because you definitely have advantages to do that.
Yes, yeah, you are absolutely right. You know, there are some real big chemical companies, they have developed special treatments now to print for digital pigment inks. And they are available all around the world, those chemistries. And they are, you know, they really increase quality. And when I look to the printing industry in general things, you know, in the printing on paper or so, you have corona treatments. Why? Because you increase quality at the end. You can print on medias, you cannot print out without corona treatment. So it is pretty normal in the printing industry that you prepare the surface on what you like to print in a certain way, that you increase quality for consistency, for saving cost, and durability of printing.
That's an important, the last word that you said, because this brings also or open a discussion of the exterior applications that we really need a strong UV resistance. This is only possible to get similar or even better, because you can get even better results with the pigment if you have a pretreatment.
Yes.
If you do it properly, you can have even better results than you already have it on the traditional pigment that you have from the traditional industry.
This is definitely right. And basically you can do it only with pigment inks. No other ink is as UV stable as pigments are. So it's more or less required to service this outdoor market. It is required to have pigment inks available for that.
That's one of the key customers for this. As we already spoke about it, the sign and the outdoor industry needs something new. They need a new technology because we, as you said very well, we had the solvent era, we have the UV, now we are on the water base because of all the reasons that we just spoke. But the outdoor needs this. So definitely only the technology can bring the pigment, but also the fabrics to get this as the right application. Outdoor, you need UV resistance. So we need the fabrics from the suppliers for the exterior fabrics, like the sunblocks, like we just spoke, the outdoor advertising. We are able to do this with pigment with a much cleaner solution than other processes in the market.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And you need the UV stability, you need the rub fasteners, and this is what you can get with the pigment inks. You're absolutely right. And I think this is where those two markets touch each other, so to say, where the soft signage or signage market get very close to the home textile market. And there is that easy switch over to the decor and the home textile starting business to, you know, to make new customers and really getting the foot in the door, so to say, for the home textile market.
So before I convince you about the machine, because I still have you to convince you about the technical information, I still need to, one of your opinions about the industry when we are relating this to, because we have a roll-to-roll machine and everyone talks about having a belt or no needed. So as I explain you from the feedback that we had from our customers are requesting a roll-to-roll machine because this pigment application, there's no space on cost for a higher cost of maintenance. There's no cost, there's no space for a higher cost of glue, belt maintenance, that normally, as you know, it's something that the customers suffer. So do you agree that we are able to reach this kind of applications, this kind of fabrics for these markets, for the pigment markets like decoration, home textiles, outdoor, military applications, non-woven, like you just said also very well? Are we able to reach these markets with a roll-to-roll printer?
Yes, because if you have the right transportation system, you know, there is always this question, do I need a belt system or do I have a, you know, so to say, a flexible transportation system, roll-to-roll, flexible, you know, computerized, digitalized, controlled. And this is probably you to tell me a little bit more about this, but this is what I would expect to have from a machine like this, that it can serve that market. By the way, you know, the home textile market, why is that so interesting, is in Europe, we have, the market size is 45 billions on retail. And if you look for production cost, maybe is 1/3. Okay, let's calculate 1/3. Then we have still 15 billions. And if I remember correctly, you know, those 50%, at least 50% market share of pigment inks in the analog printing process today means still that is 7.5 billions. So that size is more than any other soft signage market can be. And of course, in this 7.5, there are maybe some sections where you need a belt printing system because you have some stretchable fabrics. But probably 85, 90% is just on straight and plain textiles. So a machine like this could easily fit in that segment, easily.
That's what I have to convince you.
You have to show me, yes.
Going on the technical side of the machine, I would like to explain you the three main groups that we can split this. So one thing is related to the technology, the head technology, and what are we able to do with that? Mm-hmm. Other group, that one of the most important, and exactly as you just said in your last topic, it's about the tension and the motion of the printer. Mm-hmm. Needs to be done for that purpose, and it's exactly as you said before. And the third thing that we also consider very important is being very flexible and easy to use, very automatic, but always oriented to the application. A software today is easy. Having the machine fully operated from one single part is also extremely important. The labor and the cost of labor needs to be as effective as we can get. So we have this in these three main groups. And I would like to explain you detail these three parts that we had time and we engineered, and the final result is what we have here. It's a completely new printer. Apart from the looking like is the same, but it's a completely new machine.
Okay. May I ask you one thing in between?
Yes.
Do you really mean that you don't need the belt system for printing on those textiles, how you have set it up, or what? Did I understand something wrong here?
It's like you said in your last topic. We hear and we get the feedback from our customers and from this decoration, home textiles. The feedback is 80 to 90% of all these applications is plain fabrics. Mm. A belt machine is wonderful, but you know that is a cost. The cost of the investment is always higher. The cost of maintenance is always higher. And the question is, do you really need to have that kind of setup for plain fabrics? Mm. So that was what made us really stop and think about it and hear what the customers that we have already doing this, what they need. So we tried to do what they needed and what was not in the market. The belt, you always need it if you have stretched fabrics. But in these applications, we consider that we can reach the quality and the speed that the market needs with this kind of setup, with this roll-to-roll. And remember, it's a compact system, printing and drying, fixing in line, and you don't need more equipment.
Okay. Does that really mean that you can print on a 50, 60 gram polyester or cotton product, transparent one, and up to 300-400 grams upholstery stuff as well?
So we can say that our transport system have also three main important topics. First thing that we found is that the dancing bars that you have in all machinery that compensates the weights of the fabric can't be controlled by weight systems, hair regulators, manual regulators, because you don't have control on that. And changing from fabric to fabric, you don't have a way to record that and make this as simple for the operator as you need. So we have now a dancer bars front and back, so take up and feeder. All of them are electronically wise controlled by the software. So hair regulator, yes, but all of them are electronic. So there's no air pressure, manual air pressure control. Okay, you control in the two directions of the tension of the fabric. As we always know, and you know it very well, you can't tension the fabric. You have to transport the fabric without making tension, because even a plain fabric is still have some contraction if you pull it. So the tension system and this specific in this machine, and it's very unique from the dancing bars that you have on feeder and take-up. You have a second special system to transport the fabric between the print carriage. So everything that you have on the entry and on the exit of the machine, even if you have different tensions, this is not reflecting on the print area. Never. You can't have any reflection of this in the print area. From a 50 grams fabric to a 400 grams fabric, you can't tension the fabric when you're printing.
Wow.
So we have a special roll design and a special system to grab the fabric meanwhile the carriage is moving. So we don't have any contraction. We're doing exactly what a belt makes. So the fabric gets sticked in the belt, and you don't have movement on the fabric meanwhile the carriage is moving. So we did the same, but only with a roll-to-roll machine and with some special tools on the patent, because it's unique on the machine and it's unique in all machines that you can find in the market. Also very important, from the 50 grams voile, if you want to print, the machine is able to get this open structures and being able to get the ink underneath without getting the machine with a lot of waste ink underneath the fabric and getting on the rolls, getting on the dancing bars. Remember also, very important, you can put all the ink that you want on the fabric. You will fix it before this ink passes to the first row. So since you're printing and fixing in line, you're fixing the ink before you start all this tension on the take-up. So you don't have, again, problems of getting mirror images and having all these problems that you know from the industry every time you put more ink than what the fabric can handle.
Yeah.
So this system is very unique, and we are very proud to have the time to engineer it and to be able to give them now as an option to the customers.
I'm looking forward to see that.
Going to the technology that you have on the head. So as you know, we have 32 conic minolta heads. The market knows this head as a Panasonic head that was, let's say, the previous name because it was made by Panasonic factory, now belonging to Konica Minolta. Here is also one of the key points for this machine, because we didn't have heads just because of speed. Our commitment was very serious from the beginning, because we didn't want to make what is already in the market, that you had heads just to make it faster, and then you lose quality. So we have heads to keep the volume, the print volume that you need. The production is very important, but also to keep the quality, and also to get 8 colors setup. So this three, the mix of this 3 points made us being able to deliver to the customer a productive machine, but with a setup of 8 colors with 4 spots, and giving you a resolution of 720 dpi's.
Wow.
So we believe that this is very important to get the customer.
Okay.
There are applications that you need to get this quality.
Could you very briefly tell me what is the real difference to the other printers in the market from the head position here? It looks to me that you have something special here, at least you tell me, it sounds like it.
Yes. So every time you have it in all machines in the market, every time that you make the machine faster, normally you sacrifice quality, okay?
DPI, yeah.
You sacrifice resolution, DPI, normally. But in the pigment, it's even farther than that, because the pigment, the most important is not the resolution, the DPI that you are able to do, but how much ink you can put on the fabric. Because remember that is a simple process, and what you print is what you get. And again, going to fix something that the market had in the past, and everyone complains about the pigment, we are trying to bring the quality to a level that you are not, you will not say, oh, the colors doesn't look good, the colors are not strong enough, because this was what normally you hear. So having a construction of 32 heads, staggered position with 720 DPIs in 2 passes, it's quite important compared with what you get normally in the market. Of course, with faster heads, with higher production, but then you don't have the quality, or you don't have the color. We try to not sacrifice, not even the quality, not even the color going down. So we keep the speed, we keep the color. Always remember 8 colors setup with a very wide gamut. And like you said before, it's very important on the applications that you keep the consistency of the color, you keep the corporate colors that are very important, outdoor resistance. You need this ink laid down, and it's only available because of this kind of technology and the way we have this technology. Together with the heads, we have one very important thing that is different from other machines. Our electronic is our property. So we engineered it on it, we drive it. We don't have generic electronic from the market that can drive your head and other 5 heads. And all this domain and all this work is internally in MTEX.
Wow, it's impressive. What else is different? What do you think is different on this machine compared to the others, or what are other advantages?
So as a technical wise, you can bring more, like we just spoke in the beginning, software. This machine is fully handled by one touch screen. So it's let's say a friendly operation for the users. Everything is made from this screen, file management, machine operation, tension systems, everything is saved. You have a full report of everything that you do. You have full report of all file consumptions, everything live. And all this software have a full capacity of being handled remotely. All this information can go to a customer server, know everything that the machine print, being able to be fully remotely accessed for service. We believe that we really have a lot of tools on this software and the way we handle it from the remote control.
Could this printer print overnight?
Yes, we definitely, we will recommend it.
Do you have enough ink container? Is the ink container big enough that
So
the
ink
ink will not
containers
run
will
out?
be on 5 liters or 10 liters, depending the ink setup.
Yeah.
The machine is, it will be able to run even from, I can run this software from an office. It's fully remotely accessed. We are able to run rolls until 350 kilos in our air shaft bars.
Okay.
With a maximum of 35 centimeters diameter. Even able in this machine, like for example, we have it on a customer, we have it with a full setup of A-frame in the back that you can put a jumbo roll to continuous working without stopping and changing rolls. So we believe that is an industrial solution, definitely, Thomas.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
So I will think that technically wise, we covered the most important points. But I will be open to any question that you still have on the technical, or if also our listeners.
Yeah, maybe we get some questions in this afternoon.
Definitely. So Thomas, thank you very much. I believe that we cover all the points that we discussed. Again, thank you very much for your visit and cooperate with us and open these borders.
It was my great pleasure to be here, and I wish you really a success story with this machine, you know, that people understand the real advantages of this one here. And I'm looking forward to see it more and more in the market.
Thank you very much, Thomas.
Well, Marco, what an amazing time, huh? I think I'm so thankful that this now worked today, you know? Yeah, I'm so bad, you know, I feel bad for that, for those that joined yesterday and tried to understand us. But now I think we could make it. Thank you for all that have been patient with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Marco, I have a few questions open and I would like to ask you them. And by the way, you can ask further on more questions if you like. Just put them in the chat and we will follow up on that. So my first question, what I have here, you talked about the Falcon printer as has very low consumption of inks and so on. It's very, you know, economical printer from that side. But how can you say that? You know, what is the secret behind?
Okay, Thomas. It's not complicated. So we choose the technology, and when we choose to work with this head, is because we also had, and we understand the other ones, how they work, and what was the advantages of using another head in the market or this one specifically. And to make it very simple and to prove you that we are right with what we are saying, one very easy characteristic. We don't purge heads, so we are immediately saving a lot of ink. We don't purge it as, for example, the most used machine head in the market. You normally you purge the head as a regular system to clean the head. Our system is using a pressure damper and a regular cleaning with capping and staying under capping instead of purge ink to clean it. So immediately from that, you're saving a lot on the waste ink. you're saving a lot on maintenance. So as we were printing all during the morning, we don't have to clean so many times the machine. It's much easier. And this will make you that in the end of a job, you spend less ink. And we have these numbers made, we test them internally. And we know that with this technology, the way we have it assembled with pressure damper, with degasser, with subtank, under the capping and pump, we know that in the market, we spend less ink in any comparable machine, or if you want to put the same file from one machine into the Falcon machine.
Okay, that is very interesting thing. I would really like to see that as a comparison in the future. Marco, there is one other.
If you want, I can even show you, because the machine have the inline, you can check exactly what you spend by file.
Oh, really?
Yes. So every time that you print the file, you will see in milliliters, what did you spend? So you have this milliliters calculated after print. For example, you can, in this machine, as I show you this morning, this files from a lower consumption or a higher consumption, you're always talking never more than 9 to 10 milliliters of ink per square meter. We're talking about 30 cents.
Okay, and sometimes probably less.
I'm talking the maximum that you can use if you reach a 10 milliliters per square meter.
Okay, okay, that is very interesting. Marco, in regards of you mentioned somehow, I think in this time here, that this printer should be a kind of production printer or similar, like why do you say that?
First, you consider productive machine because of the production that you are able to reach from it. So you always working between 120, 130 meters per hour. That's the regular standard mode for this machine in 720 dpis. But more than that, it's the construction and the strong construction that you have, the industrial magnetic encoders, heavy servo drivers, inline built-in fixation unit. All this makes the machine in a production mode, as you have other machines, but with a lower investment always.
You know, when you tell me all this, you know, it looks to me that this machine is a kind of secret. It's so compact and everything should be in there. How did you make that? You know, so much less space you have.
It's a very compact machine, yes. You print and you fix inline. Never forget that you're doing the fixation process inline. We changed to this system with higher temperature, so we can on the speed that this machine is able to output fabric. We have also to fix it and to make a final fixation on the fabric. So we have an infrared station front and back, build it in with extraction. And one very important thing, not only an extraction, but also a system that is extracting this smoke and is cleaning it with the carbon filter and the HEPA filter. So again, we go on the environment and we are cleaning the air that we extract from the chemical process that you have inside the machine.
So you're making a story, a fun out of this. You know, in this pandemic, you may have clean air around the printer.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I have a question, what you said there. When you say that this is such a productive machine, please tell me a little bit more about the different textiles. How does it interact with the drying unit? You know, having, I know from my past, you know, 50 gram polyester or 50 gram cotton product and printing a 300 gram upholstery is something completely different. And you can dry all this in the proper time?
Yes, the fixation is built in that way. So you control the temperature from front to back, left to right, with specific sensors to measure this temperature and be able to handle from a thin fabric to a very heavy fabric.
Really? Wow. And the other question I have in that concern is, does it really mean that this product now here on the printer is finished? You can use it for the purpose you plan to have? Or is there another fixation required on the calendar?
No, from here is finished.
Yeah.
And for example, we have our CTEV results showing that on the rubbing, on the UV fastness, the results that you get from the fixation built in the machine.
What is CTEV?
CTEV is the Portuguese Institute for Textiles. It's here in the north and very near from us.
Oh, they tested this?
Yes.
Okay, it's very, very successful. Very good, very good. So is there any other machine installed in the market already, or where
Yes.
How can I see that?
We have our customer, Euromoda.
Yeah.
They are in the south of Spain, and they are typically a home textile and decoration customer. It's with them that we have learned also all these months and improve everything that we were able to give them as technology, because they are the real users of this. So we have this feedback because the customers are giving us this feedback.
So that means basically this machine has been developed by the experience of the people they really use the machine.
With the applications that we want to address this machine.
Or they like to get, and you did it for them.
Exactly.
Wow, this is great. Thank you. Are there any others in plan or in discussion with?
There are a lot in plan,
yeah.
And that's why we are starting to, after all this pandemic situation, we have to start working with the customers to get them on place.
Wow, thank you very much, Marco. Is there any other question from the audience? Okay, no, then thank you very much. We close, Marco.
Thank you very much, Thomas.
Fun
thank
for
you very
me
much
to be here.
Everyone.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, and I wish you the best in the future. Hope to see you soon.